Good morning, moms of Master Books. I hope you are having a fantastic week so far. I hope that you are out of the fall funk, as we talked about last week, especially because it's like bitter cold in Arkansas. It was 13 degrees this morning. 13 degrees.
Had to pull out the winter coat.
Yeah. Like, we didn't move to Arkansas to live in the Arctic. It's the Arctic saw right at the moment.
Arctic. Oh, nice.
That was a good pun.
Good.
So, because we're now past Halloween, we're preparing for, here, our team is preparing for the Christmas specials. And so Brittany's been doing up banners and email stuff. We've been doing Facebook, getting ready for all that's to come here for Christmas. I thought, you know what, if you were to come and visit us at the press and I was walking through the warehouse with you, I'd show you a few of my favorite things. These are a few of my favorite things.
Great.
So next week you sing. So,
I'm gonna prepare.
So this week I'm going to show you a few of my favorite things, and Brittany next week is going to show you a few of her favorite things. So as you begin to prepare for the flash sale, the big Cyber Monday flash event, the special one-day only sale that we do in December, just a couple things that maybe you might be interested in.
You can decide your favorite things.
Yes. And you know what? You're welcome to share in the comments any of your favorite things that you think make good ideas.
Tabitha said, good morning to the A-team. I like that. Elizabeth said, snow here, not that cold though. The kids love it. Where are you, Elizabeth? What state are you in? Stephen, Melissa, Caps here. Hi.
We're just in the Arctic saw. Okay. So a couple of my favorite things from Master Books if I were doing some gift giving. One of my favorite is, it's kind of, the lights are shining. There we go. I got to just get the angle right. World Religions and Cults, the box set. And this also comes with a pretty awesome poster that gives a history of a lot of the religions and where they came from, what they were offshoots of, that type of thing. But for anybody who serves in the community, for a pastor, this is a fantastic gift for a pastor because every now and then, like I had a wedding that I had to do when I was a pastor, and somebody came and said, I'm marrying into this family, they're of the Baha'i faith. And suddenly I had to try to understand Baha'i. This has so many different things, or somebody will ask, what's the difference between this or that? And I think this is just a really good resource, a desk set or in a library. Somebody shows up at your door. What do the Jehovah's Witnesses, what's up with their faith? What about the Mormons? What is their faith about? Different things like that I think this is a great resource for somebody. So if you're in ministry, if you do community service, if you know social worker, if you know a teacher who's going to encounter different people, this is a really good resource for them to have at their arsenal. So this is one of my top picks for Christmas gifts that I would recommend. Adult, somebody going to college, this would be a great resource to have because they're going to run into people from different faiths. So number one pick, World Religions and Cults. These aren't in order. These are just the pile that I have. Okay. All right.
To be gift wrapped. We'll
everybody is cold. Snow and cold. I think collectively we just need to be praying.
People from Ohio.
I'm not sure.
Missouri is 10 degrees.
Yeah. Okay. Another top pick, 10-minute Bible journey. This is, a lot of you have it, I'm sure, but this is just one of those gifts that would be great to give even to a dad as an encouragement of, here's a real easy way to lead us in devotions. 10 minutes, 52. We could do 10 minutes a week and work our way through the entire Bible. And for what dad can't handle 10 minutes a week? We just read the story, talk a little bit. Huh?
A day. Today or a week?
No, it's 52. It's 52 lessons. So you could do just one lesson a week for each year. And, Sunday night, Saturday, Monday morning, pick a night, pick a day. It doesn't really matter. But this would be a really great way to lead a family through the Bible. And I'll say it has a masculine tone to it. I think Dale did a really good job of putting it together. His ideal audience was men in that would enjoy reading this and get something out of it. So I think this is a really good concept or a good gift for a dad or somebody who would want to lead a family devotions.
Maybe ask, will these be part of the flash sale or part of the sale?
No, the entire website, our one-day only sale, which you will get information on if you're signed up to our mailing list, and the app may actually be launched. So if you're part of that, the date will be announced. So keep an eye out for that. It's in December, but you get an additional 20%. So all of our prices are like 20 to 30% off, depending on how you buy, and free shipping over $75. You actually can take an additional 20%. It only happens one day a year, and it's insane. We do an insane amount of business that day, but it's a great time to stock up, to get Christmas gifts. It's enough time before Christmas that we can get it all shipped out. So this book is $21.99 retail. Off, it's 20% or 21% off the website. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. There's illustrations, there's takeaways, there's interesting topics, but you'd actually get this for a pretty exceptional price if you did it that way. So, okay.
Got a timeline in the back. Look at that.
The timeline is pretty cool. I doubt it.
Oh, it tears out.
Yeah, so you actually have a poster that you could go through. Each of the stories and the pictures are here, so it actually puts them in. I mean, this is an exceptional value for a family to have, because you can actually understand the whole context of the Bible. It's written from a biblical creationist perspective, so it just fits the worldview perfect. Highly, highly recommend. Got the map. Yeah, if we angle them down, it works good.
Cool. Hit myself in the face. Tell it. Cool.
So that's a really good gift idea for dad, or if you have like a brother-in-law or a brother that you would like to give a gift to and kind of encourage them to step up their game in being a spiritual leader, or a son-in-law or anybody. That's a good gift.
Cool.
Okay. If you said your kids love dinosaurs or you had dinosaur lovers, the Dinosaur Marvels of God's Design is an exceptional book. To me, this is the who's who of dinosaurs from a biblical creation perspective. So highly recommend this for a dinosaur lover. It's written a little bit older, so it's not necessarily dinosaurs for kids, but the images in this book are incredible. I mean, every page has incredible images, talks about kinds, what happened to the dinosaurs, dating methods, you name it. There's just a lot of good information in this book. So this book, Dinosaur Marvels of Design, if you have a dinosaur lover, this is the go-to book. And even if you have somebody who maybe has questions about the dinosaurs, like an adult in your life, who's like, yeah, I want to believe the Bible is true, or I believe the Bible's true, but I don't know, where do dinosaurs fit in? That's just crazy. This is a fantastic resource because this will answer a lot of questions for them. So another great pick. If you were in the warehouse with me, I'd point to this one.
And we asked if she has to have the app to get information on the sale, or if that will be coming through the email.
It'll be coming through the email. We'll be announcing it as well online. But yeah. Okay. For a younger student in your life, My Creation Bible, it's got the handle. It is written by Ken Ham. It talks a lot about the beginnings, the creation, but very well illustrated, very easy to read. So if you have an early one, a toddler, an early learner, beginning to read, just a great kind of an entry-level early Bible for a little one with a really nice handle on it. This would be a great gift. Grandkids, we usually give this out to nieces, nephews, grandkids. Our family has always been about planting seeds, and we have the coolest testimonies. We have families who weren't necessarily believers, right? Or they weren't living for the Lord. Every year, if you graduate and you're near my family and I get invited to your party, I'm bringing you a study Bible. Now, I'm not going to bring you the cheap study Bible. I'm going to bring you a study Bible that like smells like fancy leather. You don't have one yet.
Still waiting on it.
Yeah, you got to pick it up. All right. We just had a family moment that went bad.
I did pick it up. I'm just kidding.
But we buy you these fancy leather study Bibles. And we have stories of one of our family members that ended up in a car wreck, and the Lord saved her, spared her, and she remembered that she had this Bible. And see, the reason we buy the fancy Bibles is you just don't throw them away. If you've got this leather book that just smells amazing that you know cost some money, you don't throw them away. So we buy them because they're going to go with people. They go to them to college. They go with them when they get married. And so even though they're in the bottom of a closet, at the right moment, those have opened up. One is a chaplain now in the service. Same thing happened. It was the Bible. He just remembered it, and there was some connection to that. And so we have these really cool testimonies. I think it's really good to just plant seeds in other people's lives. If you're doing gifts or gift baskets, or you're buying for other families, or you're buying for other family members, stuff like this are phenomenal. Can you do that?
The price is right.
Which also leads into this book, The Work of Your Hand. There's a lot of activities in here, but I think that this is something that shows the hand and the fingerprints. There have been other videos where I've talked about this, but what a great resource to teach young children that they're fearfully and wonderfully made, but God made them unique, that there are no two alike. And that's an incredible thing. He didn't just cookie cutter us. He actually created each of us as individuals. And it talks a lot about the different styles of fingerprints. There's activities like building a tree, taking a tree and then using fingerprints to do thumbprints and fingerprints to make the leaves. So this is a great hands-on activity book that would be great. Again, nieces, nephews, kids, your kids, anyone like that. But I would recommend this as a great, it doesn't fit in a stocking necessarily, but
depends on how big your stocking is. Maybe it's time to get a bigger stocking.
Hey, there you go. So this is one that, hey, I would love to receive this as a kid, just because it's fun, it's colorful, and then showing kids that they're special. Yeah,
it goes through like the first part of it. You're like going around with who is the lady who wrote it?
From Answers in Genesis.
Answers in Genesis, and she goes through and like explains all the. She's like a forensic. Is it forensic?
Yeah, she was a forensic scientist.
So she goes through and explains all the different types of fingerprints. So they learn about the fingerprints before they get into doing later activities. There we go. Super fun.
Yeah, just a fun book to give to people that's going to have good information that they would be interested in, because who's not interested in doing fingerprint projects? But what you're actually learning throughout the project is you're special. And that's what we want kids to understand, that God fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of our Creator, but very unique and special at the same time.
Cool.
Okay. The next that I'm going to recommend, if you're walking through with me and I'm just showing you my favorites in the Master Books library, these two are kind of sleepers. One is Transforming Church in Rural America, Breaking All the Rurals. And the second is 10 Things Every Minister's Wife Needs to Know. So we had a business. We sold it in 2010. The Lord called us into full-time ministry. The church we took was a train wreck. When I was young and had attended that church, there was over 500 people. The Sunday that we went back, there were 16. The village was 1,600 people. Now, a lot of people that we know pastor churches. You may be pastoring a church where the average attendance is less than 120. You pastor in a small town where you know what it's like to pump gas, and you have that feeling of dread the moment a certain car pulls into the gas station, and you're going to have that awkward moment of, they left our church 3 months ago. They've talked bad about me. I had to ask them to leave the church. All of those things. When you become a pastor, I joke and say we didn't really have enemies until I became a pastor. And it was tough because I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like I've been a likable guy. I've been part of this community and fit in for 20 years. Suddenly I become a pastor, and now it feels like I'm
all
almost
got targets on our back.
Yeah, I'm like public enemy number one. I hate to go to Walmart. We have this rule is every man for himself in Walmart.
And keep them to yourself.
That's right. If you come around the aisle and there's somebody that maybe left the church in a huff or has talked bad about our family, if you came around the aisle and there they were, you could turn around and your whole family's gone.
There's been a few times I've like turned on guys, come on.
Shame on us. Anyways. Pastoring a church was a really hard time. And the first year was awesome, but then the second year we had some things happen and it was painful. And this book was one of my biggest helps. This gentleman went and took a church and pastored it in a small community. And in that community, he just faced, he wanted to take out the pews and put in chairs. And suddenly you're touching all this history. And now there's almost death threats on him because he's willing to break away the traditions, even though people didn't come, all these things. And so I just got a lot out of this book. It was kind of it was valuable to me. And so if you're in ministry or you're in pastoring and you have that, you're pastoring a small country church and maybe just need a little boost of there's somebody else. Now, things have changed a lot since this book was written, and I don't even know if he's still the pastor of this church. But the content there really did help me. The other thing, and this is kind of an odd thing because I'm not a pastor's wife or a minister's wife, but what I noticed was my Achilles heel is my family. If you go after my family, I can take most attacks, but if you go after my wife or my kids, that's how you get me. And Kristen went through it more than I did in ministry. And this book was written, they pastor Ronnie Floyd and Jenna Floyd.
Very Chris Aruda said, not the pews.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what we did. Now I'm going to go off on a bunny trail. Every Sunday, I would like destroy the church. So one Sunday you'd come in and the chairs would all be set up one way. The next Sunday you came in, they were all set up another way. One Sunday they came in, there were tables and chairs in the sanctuary. Like, we just shook it up so bad for a year until finally everybody's like, we don't know what's going to happen on Sunday. And they finally gave up. When somebody complained about a clock in the sanctuary, because there was a clock in the back, there was no clock for years. They took all the clocks out. I'm like, listen, I bore myself in church, so we need a clock because I need to know when to be done, right? Because I don't go on and on, but I only want to go 10 minutes. Let me see how long it is. So when somebody complained that we had put a clock in the sanctuary, I went and bought a clock that was like this big.
He's a little bit of a rebel, if you couldn't tell.
And I put it up in the front of the sanctuary, so that was there. So that's what we did with the pews. There were clocks everywhere. So
rebel.
I will only say the Lord knew me when he called me. He knew who I was when he called me, and he equipped me. He humbled me through the process as well, which was good. But he knew what kind of personality it was going to take to turn that church around, and the Lord did. Okay, anyways, 10 things every minister's wife should know. If you, for pastors or people who are in ministry, read this book. Don't read the one about what ministers should know. Read what your wife is going through. Or maybe you could maybe most guys wouldn't care. But I really did, and this book helps me immensely. So this is one of those books, just knowing what she went through, what struggles she had, kind of how to circumvent it. Those were things that I really enjoyed. So these are two kind of sleeper gifts for people that are in ministry.
RG said, I missed something, and you are showing two books, but I can't make the titles out. One looks like rural, and the other one I have no idea. Okay, so it's Transforming Church in Rural America. And we'll put a list of all of these in the description, so you can go back and read through them.
And the second is 10 Things Every Minister's Wife Needs to Know by Jenna Floyd.
Cool.
Okay. The Henry Morris Study Bible. This is an awesome study Bible. We have case bound. We have leather bound. It's sharp. We have leather bound. We have... this one is a leather bound. We actually even have calfskin that just came back into stock, and it's got the gold foil, 2 bookmarks. It is a fantastic apologetics Creation Bible. Yeah, it's
Really
we
nice.
sell a lot of these each year, but if you have a student of the Bible or somebody that you would like to buy a nice Bible for, maybe even a pastor, it's King James Version. Henry Morris used the King James Version because certain words were important in the translation, and so he kind of explains a lot of that, but this is a great resource.
We all smell the books when we get them in from the printer because they all have a unique smell.
Those are legit. That's, yeah. I have that Bible. I didn't teach from this Bible because it was King James Version, and my audience was that was hard for them. But I did like it because I think he's solid, and I enjoyed his what would you say, his interpretation of Scripture and the way that he drove home things. So we have the hardcover version, which is down. That's fairly inexpensive in the below $30 range, I believe. And then we go up to even like $120 for the calfskin Bible, around $100.
And the calfskin one is gorgeous, and it feels amazing. The leather is just
It really does.
incredible.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So another great gift for a Bible student scholar is From Adam to Jesus. So what this is, we won't open it all the way up, but this is a timeline. On one side, it's got this huge 13-foot long panorama of Jerusalem at the time of the crucifixion. And so it's got all these different things. And this was actually, they used to have these huge buildings or tents that you would walk into. And you would walk into it, and all around you was this panorama. Well, these were the images from that panorama, and they used to break it down, take it to different cities. It actually burnt down, but they were able to use all the images to create this panorama. So that's pretty cool. Then the other thing is, if you're familiar with the Adams chart, which is one of the last things I'm going to show you today, but the Adams chart, this is the biblical history part from creation to Christ. And so as you're studying the Bible, this is just a fantastic timeline to open up and understand context of what was happening when. I think it's important to understand context of Scripture because some things are foundational. There were certain times that covenants came into place, and then even when Christ comes in, that changes that. So that's from a timeline perspective for a Bible student, for a pastor, for yourself, because we buy ourselves gifts at Christmas.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good timeline to have.
And it fits on the shelf a little bit better than the big timeline.
It's a little bit
you don't
easier.
have as much room because you can go through this page by page. Even you wouldn't have to even open the timeline up all the way.
Right,
but
just
you're
like
able
Britt's doing.
to because we just opened it
If
up.
we opened it up, it would go 13 foot long. I mean, it goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. That was pretty slick. We did that pretty well.
No.
All right.
Good at this. Not gonna lie.
I know.
Not to brag, but
QVC made, Okay. Another absolute favorite goes with the zoology course. If you don't have this, your kids would love this book. It's all,
this one's my favorite.
this came out this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is just like the pictures, the text. It's just an awesome book for your family library.
You can't really tell the light's hitting it, but the details in the pictures are just incredible.
Yeah, and there's so much cool information in this. There's did you knows, all, what families they belong to.
I would have spent hours going through this as a kid.
Yeah. I mean,
I still probably could.
This is a solid gift. And it's big, and it's rugged. I mean, it's
durable. It's gonna last.
Yeah. That's good. That did sound like QVC. I know I would like to buy this for my nephew and my niece. Well, this is one of those I'm like, listen, you're not going to lose by buying this for somebody. So nieces, nephews, again, this is a good seed book because even if you have a nephew or a niece that you're you're sweet on because you love them, and they're in like public school and their parents aren't really stepping up to the plate yet and leading from a spiritual standpoint. A gift like this is a gift that you just plant seeds, because in it is all, Master Books, ink on paper to impact eternity. So we're not just teaching about animals, we're teaching that animals were made by a creator, and their design is amazing because we have an amazing designer. So great seed book, but such high quality, and just, this is one of those awesome gifts I guarantee your kids are going to love.
Anna Walter said her son made a wish list of pets from the book.
That's awesome.
Desiree said, my husband actually asked, is this QVC hour? He was kidding.
Yes.
It is.
We haven't figured out our own acronym for QVC, but we'll work on one.
I don't even know what QVC stands for.
I don't either. Sometimes it's, it's funny. I just had a conversation with somebody, now we're on another tangent, about selling product. And I'm like, yeah, but we exist to sell products. So I am shamelessly selling product. If you have the opportunity to buy Usborne or to buy this, hands down buy this, because this has a creation message. Shamelessly self-promoting, selling books. It's what I do. It's what the Lord gifted me in. It's one of the spiritual gifts: pastoring, prophet, evangelist, salesman.
Selling books. Sorry, salesman. That's what I meant.
Salesman is an evangelist, really, and I am an evangelist for Master Books, and this is an incredible product. So I've gone way off on that. So
we keep going off on different tangents.
Yeah, that's good, because we're moving through it, because I'm at my last product. So before I show the last product, let us know how many kids you have. How many kids are you buying for this year? Give us a head count. Brittany's going to choose somebody, and she's going to give 2,500 reward points here. If you have any questions about anything you've seen, be sure to ask as well, and we'll try to answer it before we're done. And so,
real quick, Anna said MBSN, Master Books Shopping Network. I like that.
That is good.
Or Anna said MBHSN, Master Books Home Shopping Network.
That works. That's good. Yeah. So welcome to MBSN. Today, MBHSN, one of our flagship products. This is an incredible product. This chart folds out to over 23 foot long. As you can see, it's almost 3 foot high. It's a beast. And this was printed in the 1800s. It's based on the work of Usher. And so it's a biblical timeline from creation to the 1800s, and world history is in it. It's called the Adams Chart of History. You can buy it as a book like this that can open up, or there's actually the wall panel version where you can buy it. And if you have a 23 foot long wall, it's awesome on the wall. We've given them to pastors. They put them up in churches. I know a lot of families have it just to open up. And this thing is, so the way it's set up, I can't even see it. Okay, the way it's set up is, I'm knocking you out.
To fall off my stool when I put the mouse on.
It's got to go this way.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Okay.
Smooth.
So the way this thing is set up, don't open too many, is it's got all the biblical history from creation, the beginning of the world, and then it goes through and, let's see. Okay, can we do it page by page now?
It also doubles as a way to hide your children. People come over quick, and you're like, guys, go to your room. You just open this up and hide them. Did you see how easily I was hidden?
Now we're hidden. Okay, I'm trying not to fall off my stool.
It was almost bad.
Okay, so now we're doing it like a book, but this thing would open up like a major long, 23 foot long poster. So you can see like the Tower of Babel, and then from Babel, we end up having other civilizations that came from that. And so you have Egyptian, the Babylonian, the Phoenician, the Chinese dynasties that are here. And as you go through history, you can see like here were the pyramids at the same time, Isaac to the 12 tribes of Israel, what was going on during those times. And all through, you come to let's see. Yeah, through the Old Testament to the time of Christ. Where are we? Okay, so we come to the time of Christ. What was going on? Here's the crucifixion. At the same time that the Colosseum is being built, and then what was going on in what was going on in Rome, what was going on in China. And so you understand that the Bible isn't in a vacuum, that it's actually set up where this is what's happening in the Bible when we read the Bible, but all this other world history was occurring at the same time. And I think it's a really good concept because we don't realize that prophecy is happening today. Prophecy is being fulfilled today. Well, we're busy shopping on Amazon and we're busy, buying Master Books books. There's things happening today where prophecy is being fulfilled. And so in these days, all this history was happening. Well, Jesus is hanging on the cross, saving the whole world. All this history is happening at the same time. It wasn't like that was the only thing that occurred in history that day. And I think it's a good concept to understand, especially as we move towards the last days when it says people were giving in marriage and life was going on. And then at the second return.
Yeah, I think some of the circles are like poets and big people that were part of the time. These were big spiritual events that were happening. You can see down here, you can track when the colors change. It's kind of when different rulers came into play. Or here, I don't know if you can see how this kingdom, they got a new ruler, but part of their kingdom actually morphed into this other segment.
Where they divide, where they conquered, took over. Right. The flags battles?
Yes.
Brittany actually had to do a project on this for Master Books and create a special page that helped sell this project. So she learned how to read the Adams chart, and it's amazing.
There's a lot of details of it on the Amazon page, the Amazon A+ page.
Yeah.
It's got inventions. I think this one has a lot of inventions and stuff that were happening at the same time.
Yeah, the 1200s, what was going on in France, Poland, Norway, Portugal. What's amazing, even Mark Twain, when this book came out, Mark Twain was one of the endorsers of this book. In the 1800s to create these, and what he sold it for was amazing. This book was actually hiding in a library, and somebody bought it and brought it to us. And Tim, this became a labor of love in that it took a lot to reproduce it. It's only the printers are overseas that are even capable of producing it, because all of these pages have to be hand glued because of how big it is. So it's a special project. When we get them in by containers, and then we have to unload those containers, and that's not a lot of fun because these are pretty heavy books. We take these usually to the conventions and we sell a lot of it, but
so that you've seen that one, you can kind of see that the timelines are kind of the same up top. It's got a little bit of a sampling of.
Yeah, the Bible portion of this is all in that now. Yep. So my last sales pitch, if I haven't convinced you to buy this because it's an amazing resource, it's an amazing Bible resource, is it makes a fantastic slip and slide. You lay it out 23 foot long, and the paper is so glossy. It's
How can you afford not to get this book? It's a book, it's
slick.
A timeline, hide your children, and a slip and slide.
And a slip and slide. You lay this thing out 20 foot, and you can slide through history.
Is it heavy?
Is it heavy? Yeah, the paper is like cardstock. I mean, you could function as a slip and slide. As long as their socks are clean and not gritty, then it could function for a long. Or they don't
have rubber on the back. No water. This is a waterless.
Yeah, this is more slide. More like the old days of sliding across the floor. Mm-hmm. That's my last.
On that yet?
That's my last best pitch when I sell those at a convention.
Someone wants to know from experience.
We have a warehouse set with 50 foot of Adams charts, and we just see who can go the longest and break the records.
And you said you had me at hide your children. I'm telling you, it's really quick. Quick, somebody's coming over. Forget it's too late to run to your room. They'll see you run across the window. Just open it up and hide.
Jenna Mudd has a picture where we use a lot of her pictures, and she lays it out. Is it soundproof? Not yet.
We'll work on that. Good idea. Good suggestion.
Yeah, we have to be careful when we're not quite soundproof. But what it does is when kids actually start looking at it, they do become more, it holds their attention. So they actually stop talking as much.
My kids heard it was a slip inside and they ran to the phone. Call now.
Call now.
The number is.
Yeah. So, all right. Did we have anybody post how many people they're shopping for?
I wrote it down quick. The one that I chose was Carissa Faus. F-A-U-S-S. However you pronounce your last name, I'm so sorry.
Carissa Faus? Faus.
Faus?
Faus.
Faus.
We'll do it with a Brooklyn accent.
Like a Brooklyn accent. Carissa Faus.
Carissa Faus.
She has 6 kids and 12 nieces and nephews to shop for this year.
6 kids. That's no joke. Yeah. We shop for 9 kids.
And
three spouses and 6 grandkids. Yeah. So
a lot of people on top of
yes,
extended family. Have kids put socks on and slide across.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's like
wherever they land, they
wherever they
land.
there you go.
In case you don't have time to clean, Shazam, company ready. That's what I'm saying.
It's big enough. I was at one convention where somebody bought it to remodel their bathroom with, and they took it and put it all around the bathroom. Now that's pretty cool, actually, if you think about it, because, in a church bathroom, it would be a really cool gift idea. There's just a lot of uses for the Adams chart.
Oh, she said it's Foz, like faucet without the E-T, Foss.
Foss,
like faucet.
I can't say it without saying Foss.
Foss. He's from New York, so Carissa Foss. Congratulations, Carissa Foss. Sorry, we've been obsessing over your last name. It's a beautiful last name, by the way.
It is.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so there's a few of my favorite things from Master Books, and
his favorite thing.
That's good. Yeah, you did it.
You did it.
Good girl. Good job. We have Master Books is owned by New Leaf Publishing Group, and then we have New Leaf Press, Attic Books, and Master Books. And so some of these products are Master Books products, some of them are New Leaf Press products. This is an Attic Books products, but we're all one in the same company, and we're all representing them as Master Books because this audience really is Master Books. But there's a handful of things if you're looking for some gift ideas to add to your list. And next week, Brittany has some that her favorites. And feel free to continue if there's some that maybe we missed or you think would be good for someone that you buy a gift for and they've enjoyed it. Jessica is here. I think Jessica bought a gift last year that for her husband, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Jessica, but didn't you buy a special gift for your husband from Master Books, like Ushers or Josephus or one of them? That was a hit. So, all right. Well, hey guys, Thursday, Brittany's going to be gone on a trip, but I'm going to talk about, I think, one of the most exciting things that I've come across in a while, and that's the differences with our kids. Our tendencies as people. And I found a resource that I've been reading, and it's been eye-opening to me. I've studied a lot of personality types, Briggs-Meyer, Enneagrams, DISC, you name it.
I want to be there for that one.
But the tendencies, it's like this explains so much of my life. This explains so much of the conflict I've caused Kristen, and why people around me sometimes can be irritated. And but at the same time, it explains why I may be irritated with them too. So what I just realized, though, is our kids, they're not always like us. And having an understanding of this, I think, is really helpful. So Thursday and teaching tips, that's what I'm talking about. Tendencies that may not be like our tendencies and actually may drive us nuts.
It's not copy and paste.
No, but it's simpler than we think. So, all right. So I hope to see you Thursday at Teaching Tips. And God bless you guys. Have a good week.
Bye.